that felt like
That was
really easy. Woo!
There we go. That's a recipe for distance there.
See it. Will this just be my driver specifically?
I mean, in an hour, I would say Tim, like, probably just drive. I think that, like, definitely watching it hit some with yours, seeing what the ball flight's doing, talking about what's happening, and then, you know, what could be in the club itself that's causing to enhance a miss. Keep maybe the ball from coming back toward it. Right now, like, your pattern, would you say, is it just a little right, typically?
So it was, like, hard right at first. So since lessons, it's gotten more straight and a little left. Do I just hit some off?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and hit some. I think it would be good start here. So in the TaylorMade Qi35 Max in a 10.5.
Okay.
And we'll work around that.
Okay.
For now. And for starters, I think it'd be good to start in a shaft that's going to be pretty light just to begin with. And this is going to be fairly close to what you have. I'd say it plays a little bit stiffer.
Okay.
But lengthwise going to be pretty comparable. So let's start here. And we'll just do like 5 swings with this. There. So that's a new Qi35 Max.
Do I like have to think of anything different?
I wouldn't think of anything different. Think about it just being like the same exact swing.
It feels lighter.
Feels
Is it
lighter. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, so kind of even.
But I actually don't even know if it does.
Okay. Like just looking at the club head you have, it's probably going to be mostly just titanium, whereas you do have carbon fiber in that head there, which is lighter. So the carbon fiber is lighter, but what it allows companies to do is save weight in certain areas of the head, put it in others. The club is really good there. You know, moving in the next direction. Could see just a little bit towards the heel there, so that's just imparting a little bit of right side.
Okay.
Sam, do you find this club head to be harder to close than yours?
I don't know, because I feel like would that be a thing?
I would say that, like, when we're going into different weights and different feels of clubs, it could be a lighter club or something that feels different. You might not have the same reaction to our body.
I feel like it's probably if it like I don't know.
There you go. Square it up really nicely. Nice center hit. Excellent. I think Sam will be good though to do now is go to a shaft that's going to be, for one, a little bit stiffer, but also a little longer.
Okay.
And what this is going to do too is actually going to give the head weight a little bit more. It's going to feel heavier.
Okay.
Probably 2 inches longer. So this is definitely going to now make that head feel a good amount heavier than what it started at.
It did feel
Like, did you feel a little bit more weight in the head there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like not in a bad way, but yeah, I could feel it.
And the other thing I'd say too is that, you know, with the longer shaft, there's definitely a potential for more speed. And nice there. And what would be like, I mean, just curious, like distance-wise, like, would you want to see this go? Like, I mean, and that's the thing too, like when you're looking at a new club, you know, of course you want to perform with what your previous one was to make it worth your while to get a new driver or to purchase a new club.
Yeah.
So what would be maybe like a distance that you're looking for? Like,
so when I first started, again, like I had like no experience. I could drive the ball sometimes like 200 yards, which I thought was like pretty impressive.
That's great.
And then it was just going like super right all the time, and that was getting really inconsistent. And then it didn't matter how far I drove it anymore. Since doing lessons, like 150, 160 was like my average, which I was like really bummed out about because that was like the club I was strongest with to start. I would be happy with 180 to like back up to 200.
Yeah.
And I think some of it is just going to come with like my skills getting back to where they were or whatever had happened in between then. Is that like a realistic number?
Totally. How's Sam too, like with a little bit added length? Is that feeling awkward or does it feel good?
It doesn't feel awkward, which I kind of would assume it would, but it doesn't feel like I'm too far or like out of control or anything like that.
Okay. Try here, a little bit different setup than what we're looking at here. I'm gonna give you a shaft that's it's actually a little bit lighter than the shaft.
Okay.
And it's gonna be the same length, but what I'm also doing too is I'm taking a 9-degree head and turning it up.
Okay.
And what that does is just gonna close the face a little bit.
Okay.
So let's see too if it maybe can help a little bit in just leading that ball flight come back a little bit to the left.
I feel like that felt good to swing.
And it felt comfortable in that setup there? Okay. And how's the contact on that one? That feel pretty good? Or?
It felt good.
Okay.
It felt like a little, like I don't know if it's like my contact that feels heavy or if it's like the club itself that feels heavy hitting it.
Okay. So I think Sam too, like if the length of the club I think can definitely, for one, influence where we're hitting. Where we're catching a little bit more towards the heel, obviously there, it's gonna be, I think the length is gonna be a little bit of just a tough thing for you to adapt to, especially coming from what you're using. And that's why I wanted to try something that's gonna be just a little bit shorter than what we're looking at there. So this is the new Cobra Adapt, and this is gonna be a club head that's designed to, again, bring the ball flight back to the left more. Really nice.
It felt light to swing.
Okay.
Like it didn't feel, I feel like I just don't have the right words to describe, but
Yeah.
It didn't feel like heavy, but not necessarily like weight wise. I don't think that's what I'm talking about when I say like it felt light or heavy to swing.
Okay. So you feel like when you're like the club head itself feel light? Is that really what you're feeling?
Yeah, like it didn't feel like, or maybe as stiff to swing, maybe that's a better way to think of it.
Okay, in comparison to what we're looking at before.
What, yeah.
And I think too, like where we can see that strike being a little bit more towards the toe, which is great. I think that's also going to help your ball flight to come back. So same, I'd say that too, like just in the couple swings we've taken with this, ball speed looking much better.
Yeah.
Definitely getting up there, and even club head speed too. And like that's a good example too of like the strike being a little bit to the heel still and a little open, but getting some better performance, getting better speed on it than we were seeing with the TaylorMade.
Yeah.
It sounded like a really good strike.
That felt like really easy.
That felt easy to hit. Good. Seemed really nice there. There we go. Oh, nice. So I definitely think just looking at what we've tried so far, Cobra's looking like it's the best, like just what we've hit to start with here. But I wanted to give you another Cobra setup here, and this shaft's going to play a little shorter, a little bit lighter.
Okay.
But the head's going to be a slight bit heavier.
Okay.
And again, I'm giving it a little bit of a bias.
Oh, jeez.
Sam, excellent there.
That I feel like I didn't have to think much about what I was doing.
Great.
That also felt like really easy.
Yeah, and like Sam, definitely just looking at the face coming into position much better. It's maybe just a slight bit to the heel, so just causing it a little bit more side spin to the right.
Yeah.
But that face is squaring up much easier than like what we were seeing with looking at the longer lengths. Okay. And like Sam, that one too, prime example of a really good miss where, a little bit more of the toe there, but that's going to help keep bringing the ball back to the right, back to the left.
Yeah.
And your launch and spin are going to stay in a range that's more conducive to distance. That sounded great there.
That was straight.
Really nice.
Very.
And strike and ball speed there were really good. That was awesome.
That felt really good.
That was excellent. Just try a little bit of a different setting.
Okay.
For a second. Same again, nice strike.
Yeah, that felt like crisp.
Yeah, that was great. That strike was really good there. I mean, excellent contact. The face just staying a little bit open there, but really, really good contact. Just wanted to go back for a second here to just a little bit more of a draw bias driver head, just to compare it again with this. Both of these have been working well. Definitely the ball speed's been nice.
So you've used this driver head before?
Yes, so we tried it with just a little bit longer shaft. So now we're going with the same shaft that we've been trying here with the other Cobra head.
Some A/B testing.
Yes. So same shaft, same setting. There we go.
That felt really good.
Same was nice. There you go. Good ball speed, squared it up nicely.
Well done.
Sam, very nice. Excellent. I think that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, your club was great. Nice little drop pattern there. If I'm looking, launch backspin really nice there. And, obviously delivered the club in a great position where you hit right in the center.
Yeah.
Really, really nice there.
So I feel like whatever I just changed, or whatever we're changing, I feel like now I can turn my wrist coming down.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, definitely, obviously, some really good drives with those last couple there.
Yeah.
This was great, and then even this one here, just out short of 200 there. Really great carry, excellent strike. I want to just go back to the other head for a second.
Okay.
Okay. So I wanted to see if performance might change. Maybe we see a little bit more ball speed.
Yeah. Okay, that felt
That was
really easy. Woo!
There we go. That's a recipe for
Love
distance
to
there.
see it.
Excellent. Ball speed was awesome there. Best yet. And then just looking at the numbers, launched it really high, spin was low, everything. It was really, really good.
Well, golf is just the most complex sport.
It is.
It feels like, I guess I would have to swing my other.
Well, that's what I wanted to
driver
have you
again.
do.
Okay.
I wanted to have you go back to your driver for a second here and just feel the comparisons. Now you get a chance to really see kind of apples to oranges here. So a couple swings, but just curious if there's any noticeable difference now.
I mean, it feels like I don't know if I'm trying to swing it harder. I mean, it doesn't feel as good as those ones were.
Yeah, it's just the contact, swing, everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just broken now. That would be a very consistent shot.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. And, give good location on the face, but definitely staying more open. I'm not going to give back the Cobra here.
Okay.
Do that one there. Okay, so ball speed was still even a little faster than yours on that last one.
Yeah.
Which you actually hit a little bit towards the heel.
Well, I was gonna say, so it looks like my club, the contact wasn't as good as with
your driver.
With my driver.
Right.
But it went further, just as far.
Yeah.
With
exactly.
not as good contact.
So that's where again, we get that a little bit more centered, a little bit more towards the toe. Now we're gonna really see that ball speed jump up. Yeah, that sounded great. Really nice. Would you say that like now hitting that in your driver, does your driver feel bad, or does it feel just not as comfortable?
I
or
would
is
say
there
it just doesn't feel as good, as in like I feel like it's just taking more like
thought?
yeah, and like I'm
Sure.
using my upper body in a way I shouldn't be.
Mm.
Where this I like truly don't feel like I am.
Right. Yeah. Get the club to work down a little bit better.
So like what would be the next steps?
Yeah.
Like do I just get all a bunch of clubs at once? Do I
So
just
like
start with my driver?
I think something like just starting with driver would be the key. And like, you know, again, I think it's just we gotta try stuff. We
Yeah.
gotta experiment. You know, what we did here today was good. You know, finding length, head types, shaft settings, all that was
Mhm.
great.
Do you think I'm like ready to like make a decision, or because it was like a little inconsistent here and there, like I should try it again, or is it like this is like as not as good as it's gonna get, Sam, but like
Yeah, no, I think Sam too. Like at the far as like performance and numbers go, it's great.
okay.
But it's also obviously, hey, it's your decision. What you
Yeah.
feel like you want to do. If you want to wait a little bit, then that's fine.
So if I don't want to wait, like I guess what are the next steps for there?
Oh, well, just you know, obviously,
Just let you know.
well, just let me know what you want to do. We can order it out.
Cool.
Yeah.